Hello Admission Committee, I am Ahmed Abdellah, an Egyptian engineer. At the beginning of the MicroMasters courses, I wanted to get a master's degree in supply chain management because it is the right step I should take to develop my professional career and reach managerial position with more strategic responsibilities, which was a very valid reason until a sudden event that changed my whole perspective. 4 months ago, one of my closest friends had a terrible accident and was transferred to the hospital where he needed blood transfusion, but his blood type was rare and wasn't available. My friends and I reached for the nearest blood banks, but it wasn't until the fourth one that we managed to find his blood type. And there they told us that they have a policy, due to blood shortage, that they need 4 donors for each blood bag they provide. And we needed 5, so we gathered more of our friends and finally managed to collect the needed blood. But unfortunately it was too late, and 8 hours later our dearest friend passed away. After this incident, I have been asking myself, what could I have done to prevent this? And that led me to another question, what can I do to prevent this from happening again? So I decided to seize the opportunity on hand of studying at MIT and tackle the problem of blood shortage by improving the blood supply chain. Starting by the research I'm proposing on how could nations predict their blood requirements, which I think is the first step in proper planning of blood collection. I want to know more on how to ensure availability of blood when needed, while it cannot be manufactured, highly perishable, and with high demand and supply uncertainty. And at MIT, I can gain the required knowledge to do so. Furthermore, facilities at MIT like the MIT Humanitarian Lab and curriculum courses like SCMb 283 and 284 will shape my understanding of how to improve the way NGOs operate, as I'm planning after getting my degree to reach a supply chain analyst position at NGO that is concerned with providing blood to those who are in need. My previous supply chain work experience started 5 years ago as a procurement and contracts engineer at a construction company in Saudi Arabia, where I learned how effective procurement would reduce the total cost and give a competitive advantage to my company, and how to craft a contract that would preserve the rights of my company and at the same time maintain the good relation with our suppliers. Then I co-founded a small trading company in Dubai with a friend of mine, where I was responsible for all procurement and logistics activities, which gave me a wider view of more supply chain functions like logistics and warehouse management, and made me realize the importance of coordinating all the supply chain functions together. Currently, I'm working at Advanced Energy Systems, an oil and gas drilling company in Egypt, where I'm responsible for setting the procurement plans for 2 super jackup rigs, and it's a very challenging job because these rigs operate in the middle of the sea with very high downtime costs and increased complexity due to numerousness of material, services and spare parts required. A global supply chain problem that I find interesting is how we could cope with the ever-changing laws and regulations that governments may impose due to political or economic reasons. For example, Brexit. Internal political pressures led Britain to separate from the European Union. The separation will be effective starting from the end of March next year and will cause changes in the governing laws, logistics and trade rules, making it critical for procurement officers to look ahead at the possible effect on purchasing in and out of the UK. Another example is in my country, Egypt. 1.5 years ago, our government devaluated the Egyptian pound, losing 48% of its value, and imposed more tariffs on imported goods in an attempt of economic reform, which made the cost of all imported goods to double or even triple. We should learn how to anticipate such changes in laws and regulations as they normally go beyond supply chainers' focus, and design our supply chains to be resilient to the disruption that could happen due to such changes. Thank you for considering my application, and I hope to see you next year and we can prove that also supply chainers can help saving lives. And mark your calendars, June 14th, World Blood Donor Day. Thank you.